And now the Raiders lead it again, 7-6. And Jerome Reed out there now has not given up a run in any appearance yet this year. And if he can close it down, the Raiders are going to force it to Friday night.
Well, Jerome, one of those juniors, he's been solid all year long. They're counting on him in the clutch. And tell you what, everybody thought this ball game was going to come down to Chuck Cunningham and John Barnes, but it's quite the different situation right now. You've got Steve Hegler and Jerome Reed. So really a scenario that no one had counted on in this ball game.
And again, we talked about Mark Lambert early. Disappointed in Monday night. He'd love a chance to get out on that mound Friday night. It's a best-of-3 series. The Raiders trail by a game, but they lead Game 2, 7-6. Reed with the first pitch to B.J. Johnson is a strike. Swinging, 0-1. Reed gets a sign from Brown, the 0-1 delivery. Inside low, a ball 1-1.
Raiders have really made the most of their opportunities here tonight. They've been out hit 9-4, but they lead where it counts on the scoreboard, 7-6.
And again, both teams with 5 errors in this series. I don't think any of us thought that would happen before we got started. That one's high to Johnson, 2-1. Jerome's been most effective so far when he's just leaned back and hummed it. 2-1 the count. The delivery, swing and a miss, 2-2. Ditto.
Jerome, I think he saw where Lancaster was getting those inside pitches earlier in the ball game, and in the top of this inning, top of last inning. So he's going to come back and try to hit the same spot, and he's getting that same call.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Jerome Reed, or from Jerome Reed to B.J. Johnson. The wind, the 2-2, in on the fist. Did he go? No. It'll be a full count, 3-2. (7-6). Lawrence by 1. Jerome Reed to the wind, the pitch. Swing and a miss. He got it. One gone here in the 5th for Lancaster, and that'll bring up Robbie Reed, the catcher. Left-handed hitter.
Reed officially 0 for 1 tonight. He walked and scored a run in the 3rd inning. Also grounded out to Reed Edwards in the 4th.
Reed sets in there. Jerome Reed ready to throw. First pitch just misses inside, a ball, 1-0. Jerome getting the sign from Anthony Brown, who in turn is getting it from Coach Ed Prescott. The 1-0 pitch. Curveball inside, gets away. Back to the, well, halfway back to the screen. It's 2-0. Jerome pouncing around on the mound out there. Now he's ready to go. The 2-0 delivery misses, 3-0. By the way, Steve, remember our 2 chairs that were up here and got missing? I was looking down around the screen right after we went on the air, and I found them. We'll have to go talk with the 2 guys who've got him after the game. Ball 4 inside. He walked him on 4 pitches.
Well, if they've got those chairs we were sitting on throughout the playoffs, they can keep them.
Well, that one anyway with the springs exposed. So 1 on with 1 out here in the top of the 5th. The Raiders on top, 7-6. Rosencrantz in at first base to run for Reed. And back to the top of the order with Aaron Curitan, who took one out of here his last trip with a home run to left field. behind the delivery. Strike on the outside corner. 0-1. Beautiful breaking ball that time. Reed glancing back over his shoulder at Rosencrans over at first. What kind of move does Jerome have?
Not bad. He's a little rusty from not having been on the mound that much.
Inside 1-1.
As most fast ballers are, he's got a pretty good move. He wants to keep the runner over there close, Rosencrans, but he's a little more. His attention is a little more concerned with Curitin right now, who bashed a 2-run homer his last time up.
1-1 count with 1 out, a runner on. Swing and a foul. Wide of the bag down at first. Reed Edwards doing a nice job hustling over there to scoop up the foul ball, and it's 1-2.
Curitin has really done the damage for Lancaster tonight. 2-run homer in the 4th, an RBI triple in the 3rd, and he flied out to open the game. So he's 2 for 3 with 3 RBIs, having a pretty good night.
1-2 the count with Rosencrans at first. Jerome winds, throws. Did he go? No. 2-2. Brown doing a nice job of knocking that one down. And Anthony Brown may have caught the hand there, or the baseball may have caught him on the hand. Steve Clayton is down there throwing. And I believe he's playing catch down there with Jason Barnes. Maybe a just-in-case warm-up for Ed Prescott.
I think Steve Clayton, I'm not sure if he's seen action this year. He may have had 1 or 2 innings, but nothing much of significance. Be a pretty tough situation to call on a young man who hasn't thrown much this season and put him into a situation like this.
Barry Atkinson out, still checking on the arm of Anthony Brown, the catcher. Raiders 7, the Bruins of Lancaster 6 here. 1 down. We're in the top of the 5th. Raiders once led it by 6-0, then saw Lancaster come back and tie it, and they've since retaken the lead at 7-6. And again, they continue to look at the hand of Anthony Brown. Appears to be the wrist hand area.
One thing that has concerned Coach Prescott this season, he said this is probably his most injury-prone team that he's ever had. And you look at the various ailments throughout the season, probably the most susceptible has been shortstop Brian Mann, who's been hit just about everywhere imaginable. He's had a couple of black eyes in practice from balls that took bad hops. He, of course, was, I don't want to say spiked, but he went into the bag hard at Eastside and missed the first playoff game, or the last regular season game. He was back for the playoffs, and these guys have just really been banged up throughout the course of the season. 25 games, a long way to go. You want to get the second stringers in there for as much play as you can, and Coach Prescott has done that. But you look at the big ball games down the stretch, and these guys have really taken a beating.
When we continue, it will be a 2-2 count on Curitin with a runner down at first, and 1 down here in the 5th, the top half of the 5th. The Raiders with a 7-6 lead, and Jerome Reed being called on to try and nail this one home for the Raiders. They win it tonight, and we go to Friday night for a 3rd and deciding game here in Lawrence. But if Lancaster comes back and wins it, then it's all over, and they can take these beautiful trophies sitting over here to our right home with them tonight.
Well, they only get one of them. One of them gets to stay here.
Well, I meant the trophy, and the one trophy and all the ribbons. Must you be so technical?
Yeah, pretty much. It's my nature.
If you're not close to a clock, it's 9:49, which means this game about 2 hours and 19 minutes old. And we're only in the 5th.
Anthony Brown, a tough customer. He's going to stay in there in this ball game. He's one of those guys going to take advantage of this opportunity to play.
It was on his glove hand as well. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Aaron Curitin. Rosencrans at first with 1 out here. Top of the 5th, Raiders with a 7-6 lead. Runner going, ball high, throw down there, and Brian Mann did a nice job of catching it as the throw was way off line. and give Rosencrantz the stolen base, so they have got the tying run down there at second now in scoring position. And the count goes to 3-2 on Curitan.
That's not only the first stolen base for Lancaster in this series, that's their first attempt. They really not a big base running team, which Coach Prescott expected coming into the series. The Raider catchers really don't have great arms, however. I'm surprised they haven't run more.
Reed checks second. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Ball 4. He walked him, so a runner down at first and second now. And 2 walks have Jerome Reed in a little bit of trouble here.
Well, you're hoping in this situation to get the second double play of the year, or of the game. Certainly not the second of the year. Raiders have been very adept at turning the double play this year. Only problem is John Barnes is a difficult man to turn it against. He's 2 for 3 in this ball game, both singles.
Barnes steps in at the plate. Tying run at second, go-ahead run at first for Lancaster. 7-6 Lawrence right now. That's a curveball over for a strike. 0-1. That one came out of nowhere. Barnes steps back in there with an 0-1 count. Jerome glancing back at second. Here's the pitch. Foul back to the screen, and the count quickly 0-2 on Barnes.
Well, Barnes really chased an outside pitch on that. That would have evened the count at 1-1. I think he saw a pitch coming in on the outside part of the plate, something that he possibly could have taken to right field, and took a shot at it. Really wasn't a bad opportunity on his part.
0-2 the count. 2 on, 1 down here in the top of the 5th. John Barnes the batter. Jerome Reed winds, throws, called strike 3, got him. 2 down. Big strikeout there for Reed. And that will bring up Mark Anthony. And that is strikeout number 3 for Jerome Reed. And strikeout number 3 for Raider pitching. Anthony steps in there with 2 on and 2 out in the 5th. Curveball across for a strike, 0-1.
Oh, that may have been the best curveball we've seen from any pitcher here tonight, Doug. He started that ball out about Anthony's knees, and it just broke in toward the inside part of the plate. Beautiful pitch, beautiful location.
Jerome getting the sign from Anthony Brown. 2 on, 2 out. 0-1 count to Mark Anthony. Top of the 5th, Raiders with a 1-run lead. The pitch. 1-1 the count. That one just missed.
A little bit low. Jerome coming with the fastball on that one. One thing Jerome has to make sure, even with 2 outs here, is that he doesn't get too comfortable. You've got probably the best player in South Carolina standing at the plate right now.
1-1 the count. Reed fires. Curveball over. 1-2. Well, this has been a backwards at bat. Those 2 curveballs have been something else. Boy, there's a little doubt. I thought the one that was definitely over was the ball.
Well, Anthony really upset with him that he didn't take a swat at that. That one was right out in his wheelhouse, and he thought it was going to come inside, and he watched a beautiful pitch for strike 2.
1 ball, 2 strikes. The pitch. Oh, that one right there, but just missed. 2-2 the count. Well, you can hear the crowd reacting to that one. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. And 2 on. Raiders with a 1-run lead here in the 5th. 7-6. Jerome gets the sign from Anthony Brown. Ready, and time called by Anthony Brown. He wants to go out. Saw something he wanted to talk to Jerome Reed about, and time is called.
Well, there's 1 of 2 possible situations in that. Either Anthony Brown was set and decided to call off the pitch when Reed was ready, or they think Lancaster might be stealing some signs. The base runner out at second base. Rosencrantz may have been flashing some signals back into Anthony, and Anthony...
Oh, 2-2 pitch just missed. That one looked like it got the outside corner. It's ball 3, and Ed Prescott is out to talk with the umpire.
Well, it really upset him. I don't know if he's upset with that location or what. He wants to know what Anthony Brown was doing out there. Or actually, he's asking Anthony Brown if it was a strike. Home plate umpire going out there. He doesn't want to hear anything about it. He's just going to clean off the plate.
He's going to have a friendly discussion with the umpire. Well, they mic football coaches, they mic basketball benches, but they never mic umpires.
Well, that was a big pitch in this situation because with the full count and 2 outs, the base runners will be going here, and a base hit in the gap could possibly score 2 runs.
3-2 the count. Here's the pitch. Ball 4. He walked him. The bases are loaded. Three of the last 4 batters have walked, and Reed has walked himself into a jam. And Pep Harris, the batter, the cleanup hitter for Lancaster. Do you think he might sit there with the bat on his shoulder for a minute?
Oh, I think he's going to make Jerome Reed at least throw a strike.
First pitch, called strike, 0-1. Owen won the count with 2 down. The base is loaded. Lawrence clinging to a 1-run lead. Line drive hit down the line and foul right outside the right field line, about 10 feet foul. And we have an 0-2 count. Well, they have to close the gates. The regulations say they close the gates after 4 innings. We had 1,500 people, and it looks like you can look out there and it looks like people are still walking into this place.
Well, if some folks were listening to the radio and decided to come back in, I don't think anyone left when it was 6-0 early on. Everybody knew this was going to be a great ball game. And I think you're right, Doug. That crowd, which was originally said 1,583, I think that's grown by 100 or so.
0-2 pitch to Harris. Call strike 3. He got him. Oh, Anthony Brown set up way outside, and he hit the target. 4.5 innings complete. It is Lawrence 7, Lancaster 6. They lead the bases loaded. We'll be back in 60 seconds.